There's something almost poetic about a thriving garden. The hum of life, the smell of soil, and, well, the satisfaction of seeing your crops flourish. But any grower, old or new, knows that pests are the great equalizer. They don't care if you're running a backyard garden or a full-scale homestead. When they come hungry. And too often, modern growers reach for chemical pesticides that wipe out not just the pests, but also the very ecosystem that keeps a garden healthy. Yet, before the age of synthetic sprays, farmers had their own arsenal. Natural, homemade mixtures that worked with nature instead of against it. Today, we're going to dig into those organic pest control sprays you can make right at home, using knowledge passed down through generations of growers who didn't just survive, they thrived. The old ways worked because they balanced life, not destroyed it. Early farmers understood something we've largely forgotten. Every insect, fungus and bacterium plays a role in the ecosystem. Their goal wasn't eradication, it was balance. A good pest control method didn't sterilize the garden. It simply made the plants too strong or too unappealing for invaders. That's the philosophy behind true organic sprays. They repel, confuse, and disrupt pests rather than poison everything in sight. The first principle is knowing that most organic pest sprays rely on natural compounds that pests find intolerable: strong scents, bitter compounds, or mild acids. These elements can be extracted or combined easily from everyday household ingredients, and when used correctly, they protect your plants without harming soil microbes or pollinators. The simplest and most effective spray starts with garlic and chili. One of the most time-tested natural pest repellents used across Asia, Africa and Europe is the garlic chili spray. It's potent, broad-spectrum and incredibly simple. The combination of sulfur compounds in garlic and capsaicin in chili creates a mix that pests cannot tolerate. To whip up this natural concoction, begin by crushing a full bulb of garlic and mixing it with, say, 2 or 3 hot chilies. Let them steep overnight in a litre of warm water. The following day, you'll want to strain the mixture and add a teaspoon of mild soap. Now, not detergent, mind you, but natural castile or vegetable-based soap. This will help the spray cling to the plant leaves. Dilute it with another litre of water and apply it to the affected plants early in the morning or late in the evening. This way, you avoid any leaf burn. When applied every few days, this spray will indeed repel aphids, beetles, caterpillars, and even mites. You'll notice the insects move on, all without harming beneficial species like bees or ladybugs. This is exactly why it was a favourite among Old World farmers who needed to protect crops without compromising pollination. Now, some insects don't just nibble leaves. They hide beneath them, lay eggs, and cover themselves in protective coatings. Think of spider mite scale or whiteflies. These pests are really stubborn and resistant to scent-based repellents, you know. For these tricky ones, a soap and oil spray works wonders because, well, it doesn't rely on repellents. It physically coats the insects and suffocates them. A simple recipe that farmers have used for generations involves mixing 1 tablespoon of natural liquid soap with 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil in a litre of water. Give it a good shake and spray it directly onto the affected areas, making sure to focus on the undersides of leaves. The oil forms a thin film that blocks the pest's breathing pores, while the soap breaks down their waxy coatings. This method is incredibly effective, but timing and moderation matter. Apply it in cooler hours and test it on a small area first. Too much can clog the plant's pores. When used with care, it's one of the most powerful organic defences in your garden toolkit. Long before organic became a buzzword, Indian farmers relied on the neem tree as their first line of defence. Every part of the neem tree has pest-deterring compounds, but the oil pressed from its seeds is especially potent. Neem doesn't kill instantly. Instead, it disrupts pests' hormonal systems, preventing them from feeding, breeding, or growing. To use it, mix 2 teaspoons of neem oil with 1 teaspoon of mild soap in a litre of warm water. Spray it thoroughly on your plants every week or after rain. This spray not only drives off aphids, thrips and mealybugs, but also acts as a mild fungicide against mildew and mould. Unlike chemical pesticides, neem doesn't harm earthworms or beneficial insects once it dries. It's biodegradable and even adds a subtle shine to your plant leaves. Farmers who used neem-based mixtures often reported healthier, more resilient crops season after season because the balance of the ecosystem remained intact. Sometimes, the problem isn't the insects, but rather the moulds, mildews and fungi that creep in during those humid conditions. Old homesteaders, they often turn to vinegar and citrus peels for this sort of trouble. The acidity of vinegar, you see, lowers the pH on leaf surfaces, making it quite inhospitable for fungal spores. To prepare, just combine 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or white vinegar with a litre of water. And for an added punch, toss in a handful of citrus peels that you've boiled in water and let cool. It's a simple old trick, but it does the job. Strain and spray on leaves affected by powdery mildew or fungal spots. The key here is precision. Too much vinegar can damage tender leaves, so apply sparingly and always test first. Used every few days, this mix keeps leaves dry, glossy and free of disease while providing a natural fragrance that, deters soft-bodied insects as well. Every great farmer or gardener knows that pest control isn't a one-time event. It's a rhythm. The sprays you make at home work best when used preventively rather than reactively. Applying them once a week, even before you see damage, creates an invisible barrier that keeps pests from establishing in the first place. The other part of the equation is observation. Just as farmers of the past learned to read their crops, the curl of a leaf, the shimmer of dew, the trail of an insect, so too must you pay attention. These natural sprays give you time to understand your garden and strengthen its natural defences instead of just masking problems with chemicals. For those of us who love working the soil and respecting the old ways, making your own organic pest sprays isn't just about saving money or avoiding chemicals. It's about restoring an ancient partnership between humans and nature. It's the same knowledge that kept wartime victory gardens alive and ensured food security for generations before industrial farming. So, before you reach for a chemical bottle, reach for a clove of garlic, a chili, or a dash of vinegar. Your plants and the planet will thank you. For more time-tested methods, old-world growing wisdom, and practical self-sufficiency guides, subscribe to Husbandry, share this video, and keep this knowledge alive for the next generation of growers.